Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Sunday Night Live, being that this is our 2023 Christmas special. And I am very excited. As you can see, I have the nice sparkly hat on. I apologize for any drops in the stream. We have very bad weather here, and so it is definitely messing up the quality of the stream, so I apologize for that. So if you see it kind of freezing every now and then, that's why. So I am hoping and praying that we don't actually lose power altogether. So that's kind of the state of play. I do have a very special guest here who we will go over to right now. And there he is. I love the hat, Rich.
Well, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, mate. And what does it say on your jumper?
Oh, it literally says Christmas jumper.
Oh, yes. That's really the Christmas jumper that everybody should have, I think. So, there we go. Bobby says, so far, great video. Thank you, Bobby. Yes, it may occasionally kind of freeze every now and then, because I did notice we did get a couple of drop frames there for a second at the start. So hopefully everything will hold together with our sticky back plastic and sellotape and used toilet rolls and things with which this show is being hung together. So anyway, welcome everybody. Hope everybody has had a good week. It's been, I don't know about you, Rich, but it's been a busy one for me, kind of as we kind of sprint for the Christmas finish line. I don't know if that's been your experience.
I haven't even gone Christmas shopping yet.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I will do that in half a day.
Yeah.
It'll be done. But yeah, it's been, I've had some time off, so it's been a really, really lazy one. I was ill last week because I caught the C virus again.
Oh, yes.
And
fun.
So I'm just about over that at the moment, just in time so that when we have in the UK, not the Americans, when we have Boxing Day, I can drink litres and litres and litres, metric, of beer and spirits.
Yep, I'll be doing the same. I'll be at my mum and dad's for Christmas and for Boxing Day. Really looking forward to that, because my mother, she's kind of like, on the one hand, fairly kind of traditionally Jewish, but on the other hand, also very not, in as much as we will have like, we don't do turkey, we do chicken, roast chicken, roast potatoes, all the trimmings, but we also have like pigs in blankets, sausage wrapped in bacon, which is like the most non-kosher thing you can possibly have. But that's
you could have matzo ball soup or latkes or something.
Yeah. We definitely have like sausage and stuff like that. It's fantastic. Love it. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. It's going to be very, very cool. And there will be lots of wine, and there will be probably lots of fizzy stuff like champagne and stuff like that. My mother tends to kind of buy more than she needs, so we end up just drinking it all. So my wife is off for some of Christmas, so she'll be off Christmas Day and Boxing Day, and then I think she's off on the 29th, and then she's back in work for New Year's. So it was just the luck of the draw this year, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to Christmas, everybody. I hope everybody is too. And I noticed in the chat that Chris Rackner had managed to reclaim his first in the door award. Well done to you, Chris. If you're still here. Billy Morgan is in second, and we got Sean Aaron in here, and we got John Hawk, we got Ron Figura, Daryl Harrison, Stephen Wilson, we got Mark, aka Spin 180, we got Paul Morgan, and we've got you, of course, and we've got just Bob and Kyle, and we've got Bobby Booth, so we can actually get started now that he's here, and we've got Don Oliver, and Gardner99, Dwayne is here as well, and I'm just scrolling down, and I think that is everybody. Oh, Dave is here.
Dave from
Bobsleigh White is here as well, which is awesome. And very Merry Christmas to everybody, and I hope you have a fantastic Christmas this year and a wonderful New Year's.
Well, Kevin's just popped in.
Oh, there we go. Yep. Bobby says, if your show gets fuzzy, it'll remind me of your first videos. Yes. Oh my gosh. I remember those shows way back in 2017 when my internet was so shite that it would regularly kind of freeze and glitch out, and sometimes the audio would just collapse to mono for no reason. But we plowed on, and then we moved out of that place and we got much better internet, and of course now we're here. We own this house, so hopefully this is it, and internet can only just get better from here, I think. So we had a very exciting Christmas songwriting challenge, which I have to say I thoroughly enjoyed it, and actually found it challenging as well. The thing with Christmas carols is because the melodies are for the most part diatonic. The thing that I found difficult was how to do something harmonically interesting that's non-diatonic, or non-standard, and yet keeping that diatonic melody as clear as possible. That was kind of my own kind of self-imposed challenge. I don't suppose anybody felt that they needed to do that, but that for me was my little challenge, which is why it took me a little bit longer, because I found myself I set myself a little bit of an awkward stumbling block harmonically. But because I decided to go modal.
Some might say you dug yourself a hole.
Yes. Do or die. I will definitely dig myself a hole. Yes. Yeah, I certainly did. Because I decided to kind of go modal with it, and because it's a diatonic melody, it's kind of Aeolian mode was kind of what I went for, because I felt that the melody fitted best. The Carol of the Bells melody fit best if it was kept Aeolian, but that presents one or two kind of challenges if you wanted to do non-diatonic harmony. So that's why mine kind of took a little bit longer. I should have like nailed mine in like a couple of days, but no. I found it hard.
And there's work, live stuff.
Yeah, and I also found it harder than I thought I would. I thought, oh, Carol of the Bells, it has such a simple melody. This will be dead easy. No. No. It wasn't. Not the approach that I chose to go down. And once I'd chosen it, I was just, I don't know about you, Rich, but I'm the kind of person where if I commit to an idea or a concept for an arrangement, that's it. I've kind of committed to it. I'm kind of stuck with it.
Yeah.
Do or die. You know what I mean? And so
you whatever happens, you'll make sure that the square piece fits in the circle hole, regardless.
Exactly. Like they did on Apollo 13. They had to make square CO2 cartridges fit into a round socket. So they had to improvise. And so I kind of felt I had to do the same thing. So it was much more of a challenge for me than I expected it to be. But I hope there's a good number of people here actually who did actually take part in the challenge, which is cool. So some of you are here waiting patiently to find out who our winner is. So we will get to that, But before we get to that, Rich, do you have some thoughts on kind of how you felt the challenge kind of went as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, as people probably aware, we would have listened to these and had a conversation about them. And I
Yep.
think one of the things that came up for me was we did have some entries that made use of the provided songs, but a lot of people were doing their own original stuff,
Yeah.
or their own take on even something completely different.
Yeah.
And there were lots of entries this time round. But the it's interesting to some people work very good with certain types of music or themes,
Yeah.
and and when we were kind of coming up with our top three, we even sort of stopped for a moment and commented on it whilst
Yeah.
we were doing it. We were like, actually picking a top three is like a lot harder this time.
Oh, it definitely was. Yeah.
Um, Now, whether that's because the theme, maybe it's something that people are really enthused to do, and maybe less scared of. It's maybe more familiar to them than Halloween. Um, but I thought the creativity with the songwriting side of things was, very good. There
Yeah.
was some interesting um, takes on classic songs. There were some interesting lyrics. Some
Yep.
people went super happy, some people went super dark. Uh,
Yes. Yes.
and that to me was kind of like, yeah, okay. Um, I think the Christmas challenge side of things was, I think, welcomed a little bit more, less apprehensively than maybe the Halloween one,
Yeah.
because we did set some pretty rigid rules last time in terms
True.
of doing the Locrian B natural six scale. Um, I think giving people a little bit more freedom to do things kind of allow people to feel a little bit more flexible in what they did.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like with many people, when we all write our own music, sometimes you come up with an idea, you spend 5 or 10 minutes coming up with an idea, and you throw it away and you start a new idea.
Mm.
Maybe some people did that, maybe some people didn't. They just went with what they had from the get go.
Yep.
But there were some interesting results. We had, you know, we had some songs to mix, which was taken up.
Yeah.
Some people did take up some of the songs that had been created ahead of time, from the sort of templated songs.
Yeah.
And those that created their own did, a sterling job. And I thought everybody did very well, and they should all give themselves a pat on the back.
Definitely. Yeah. I think the standard of the entries for this kind of surpassed what I had envisioned, because Christmas songs they have their own set of challenges. Because it's part of it is about how do you capture the mood of Christmas as from whichever perspective you decide that you're going to try and capture that mood. How do you kind of capture that mood of Christmas, um, and kind of yet um, find really creative ways in which to do that, because the whole thing with this particular challenge is we just said, hey, creativity is key here, because that's what we're going to be awarding. We're going to be awarding on how creative you are with either the materials that we provide, or with what you do with your own idea, your own song maybe. So having it that wide open, I thought was I thought that might be as that might present people with more of a difficulty than it did. So that's something that I found very pleasing from and yeah, some of the entries were definitely dark with a capital D, and very funny as well. There was a lot of humor in some of these original songs, which I really liked. They were not kind of, they didn't necessarily go for kind of like the traditional interpretation of what makes a good Christmas song. You know, there weren't some of those some of those key ingredients that you'd find in a traditional Christmas song, and yet they were still definitely very Christmassy, which was really really cool. Especially the dark ones. I thought, you know, those dark ones were great. Even though we didn't set the challenge to say, hey, come up with an anti-Christmas song or a really dark side of Christmas kind of song, but they were fantastic. So I'm really excited to announce who our winners are, and we're going to play some of the entries that we've got. We're going to play the top three, and we will play a couple of honorable mentions, and I'm going to play my one as well, seeing as I've actually finished it finally. And have you got one, Rich?
I have. It's up on the workspace. If you haven't got it to play, don't worry about it. But it's up there.
Okay, let me just go quickly take a look.
Which was done sort of in collaboration with Mr. Ron Figura,
okay.
supplying some of his keyboard skills.
What was the title for it?
The Fat Man.
The Fat Man. Okay, I've got it. So I'm going to put that in that folder as well. There we go. So, all right. So we've got a few pieces to play. So I think we'll start with yours that I've just downloaded and the honorable mentions, and then we'll do mine, and then we'll get into the winners, and we'll play their tracks as well. So we'll start with yours, seeing as I've just downloaded it.
Okay.
So here's Rich is in collaboration with Ron Figura, our resident keyboard legend, and it's called The Fat Man.
Seasons come to play, the fat man's here to stay. It should be a good day, I hope so anyway. The kids are all the same, and grandpa's on his way. And grandma couldn't make it, she passed away in May. And all I'd like to say is have a lovely day. It should always be this way, I wish it was anyway. We wash away the fray, have a beer or two with other. It was only meant to be, just a half. Listen what you say, even though we disagree. And we'll both come back to fighting in the morning. Kids will never say, that grandpa's on his way. I don't know if I told you, grandma passed away in May. Early, while the home's looking sunny, and my old man's looking bitter on the waste. I pulled his slippers on, and I bent to kiss my mom, and she put some music on. The snow had started falling, and Grandpa he is snoring. In the bed we put him up for the night. We washed away the fray, I listen to what you say, the grandpa came to play. We washed away the fray, I listen to what you say, the grandma couldn't make it, she passed away in May.
There we go. I forgot to unmute myself. Yeah, I love that. That's very cool. The drums sound fantastic. And the keyboards sound great as well. That's
Yeah.
really cool little narrative as well for the song. That's great. That's the first
Yeah,
time
it
I've
was
heard it.
just it was just about think of the olden days, and the fat man's basically granddad,
Yeah,
um, who traditionally, in the UK at least, it would be your dad or your granddad that pretends to be Santa, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I love the little narrative that goes with that.
And it was written in about 10 minutes. I'm going to swear, I shit you not. It was written about 10
Wow,
minutes.
awesome, fantastic. Yeah, it was really cool. It's a great little groove as well. Definitely. Really liked it. It's kind of funky, it's kind of rocky, it's got some drive, it's got some personality. Some nice keyboard playing as well. It's cool. Like it a lot.
Cool, thank you, man.
All right. Who should we play next, Rich? Of our honorable mentions.
Um, God, we could really do with one of those kind of like a roulette wheel things where you just pick like a random person.
Yeah.
Um, let's. I'm gonna pick a one here. So we've got. I've got a rough idea of who we will because we spoke about this before the show. Chris.
Chris Rackner. Okay, let's do his. Okay. All right, and this is just called Crimble Challenge. It otherwise doesn't have a title. So we'll go with that. I think we need a cigarette license for this, don't we? Very nice, Mr. Mrackner. Very peaceful. Excellent job. And a nice little twist on the chord changes to Silent Night as well. I like the kind of subtle little shift going into a little bit more of a kind of a almost a kind of gospel-y kind of feel. A little bit. Which was nice. And the piano playing is absolutely delightful. Lovely.
Yeah, really, really good job. And you know, for somebody that was going to struggle to get something done at all, if anything, you know, it's actually really nice that even though Chris said that, you know, there's a good chance he might not get something done, still managed to come up with the goods.
Yes, and with a little bit of style as well.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just that he just threw something together quite quickly. You know, there's a little bit of style, a little bit of thought there, and a bit of individuality, which is nice. So, I mean, you know, I know Chris likes to do things a little bit orchestral, and he likes to do things with strings and things like that. So that's kind of what I was expecting. But we got something quite different, which is very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's again, there's another thing to sort of mention as well, and to thank people for, because like you were saying at the beginning of the show, it's been for a lot of people kind of a busy couple of weeks, and yeah, you've still managed to kind of get something in, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It's yeah. That has to be applauded for sure. All right, where should we go next? Should we go dark, do you think, now that we've had kind of peaceful and tranquil? What do you think?
Yeah, like flip it on its head.
Flip it totally on its head. And this is another original one. And this is Danny's song called Rudolph's Revenge. Sounds ominous.
Years of heartache, misery and pain. He only wanted to play in the reindeer game. Someone's dreaming of a white Christmas, but there's blood on the snow, but there ain't any witness. Rudolph, with your knife so bright, who are you gonna slay tonight? Surely it's no mystery, you'll go down in history. Santa, warm by the fireside at his dinner table, someone outside with gasoline near the stable. He's angry, filled with hate and menacing. He'll turn them
That's just dark, but gloriously dark. Oh, the narrative, the story, is fantastic, and I think it was Dave that said, "Why am I seeing Clint Eastwood in my head?" Yeah, totally. It had that vibe for me. It had Clint Eastwood in Fistful of Dollars.
Yeah, Brett made a pretty astute observation there about having sort of, because he mentioned there about having a typo negative style sort of drop.
Yep.
And it did have that kind of Peter Steele, rest in peace,
Yes.
kind of vibe to it. It was very gothic, dark. It was a song from the Upside Down, those that get the quote.
Yep. Definitely. Yeah, really, really good. Excellent job, Danny. Excellent job. And took me, I mean, I was expecting maybe a little darkness from Danny, but that was just glorious.
Yeah, Dave's made quite a pretty cool comment there. He's going to play that for the grandkids.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, totally. If you want to scare the shite out of your kids at Christmas, after they've already had the shite scared out of them for Halloween, then definitely. Rudolph's Revenge is the song that you must immediately go and ask Danny for a download of, for sure. Definitely, I think everybody should go and ask Danny for a download of this and get it on your playlist, because it's fantastic.
And get these things up on, things like Bandcamp and stuff,
Totally.
Because, people are looking for original Christmas songs at Christmas because they're sick of hearing Mariah Carey.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
So get them up there, and, even if you sell them for 50 cents or $1, it's better than nothing, and at least you're getting something back and you're giving somebody something that they want as well.
Could not agree more. I think that's an excellent piece of encouragement. If you've written a song, whether it's in our top 3 or top 5 or whatever or not, get it out there. Get it up on SoundCloud or Bandcamp or something, somewhere where people can go check it out, and you might make yourself a wee $1 or $2 on the side. It's a nice wee way to earn $1 or $2, but also, like Rich says, you're giving people what they want to hear as well. And Rudolph's Revenge, I think, is definitely something that everybody should bend their ears around.
It does feel very good when somebody buys your music.
Yeah. Does.
Even if you only ever sell one copy of that one song, it feels great. Look, heck, you buy yourself a pack of picks.
Yeah.
Or,
exactly. Yeah.
Some fries from McDonald's or whatever.
Yeah. Or
but at the end of the day.
Yeah. If you make enough, if you sell 4 or 5 copies of that song, you can buy, if you're a sax player, you can buy yourself a box of reeds.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's called getting validated, man. Get validated.
Validated. Yep, totally. It's the name of the game, and I think that's cool. All right, where should we go next?
Juan?
Yeah, why not?
Like, now we'll kind of go from dark to now we're uplifting,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, let's do that. So this is Juan Weissman's, and he's called it Cherry Christmas, which sounds great with a Scottish accent. So let's roll it. Yes. That's just awesome. I love it. Wow, it's getting seriously windy out there. I don't know if you can hear it on my mic, Rich, but it's wow.
No, I thought that was you.
That was
No, I
me
can't hear
earlier,
anything.
and yes, I may be responsible for the current storm, but I was like, wow, that was a seriously loud gust of wind.
The storm of Mumbai.
Yeah, and I've not had a curry in a wee while actually. So, all right, yes. So that was Juan's Cherry Christmas, replete with lots of guitar and some very nice guitar work, for sure. Which you're guaranteed you're going to get with Juan. So again, as Rich says here, New Year's resolution: sell your music on Bandcamp. Absolutely.
Yeah, super easy to do.
It really
You know.
is. Yep.
And the only person that's going to make money out of it is you, so you might as well do it.
Yeah, and a few sales, and you might be able to buy yourself a new guitar strap or a tube of Pringles, maybe even.
Yeah, and it makes you feel good. It actually does.
It
You
does.
see that first thing, you're like,
Yep.
somebody actually likes my music and they paid for it? What the hell?
Totally.
know?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I've been on Bandcamp for probably about 10 or 15 years now, and 11 years actually, because the first record I put up on there is still on there, called Swings on Roundabouts. My other record, called Belonging to Tomorrow, which is an EP, is not on there at the moment, but it will be in January. Actually, it's going to be brought back to Bandcamp. So,
And for those that are wondering, what's it like? How easy is it? Are the terms, conditions? Do you need to be registered as a business? This, that, and the other? No.
Nope.
You just upload it. They take a little bit of a small percentage of a cut, and it is really small. And they pay out. I can't remember if it's daily or weekly, but it's pretty frequent.
yeah.
And that's it. Like you're set. It's probably the easiest way. And if you want to, you can do donations. So let's say, for example, you upload a song, but you don't really want to take money from people because you think, it's just a demo or something.
Yep.
You can say, well, it's free, or pay what you like.
Yeah.
You totally do that. And that's what Radiohead did with one of their albums. Pay what you like. And yeah.
I think the Radiohead story with that record was that they found that they sold not only a lot more copies of the record, but they made more money from the record than they would had they sold it the traditional way.
Yeah, they did. I mean, it went #1 in the UK, I think, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the States, but maybe. But yeah, it did very well. So give people the option if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you really, 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 really want to, you can upload songs and let people download them for free.
Yep.
Certainly if it's like we're doing now, like Christmas songs where you might think, I don't really have the copyright, so I can only let it go for free, then yeah, by all means.
Totally. All right. Let's go for a bit of Rob Kane, because I'm aware we're running out of time. So, but it's a Christmas special. It's gonna be a slightly extended show because it's Christmas, and this is our extended celebration. So we are gonna get to announcing winners. I said winners. There is one winner, but there are runners up as well. So, because we're good like that. We're kind. We're generous. So let's go for a bit of Rob Kane with his very, very stylish arrangement of Away in a Major.
Away in a manger, no crib for a bed. The little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the sky looked down where he lay. Jesus asleep on the hay. The cattle are lowing, the baby awakes, but little Lord Jesus, no crying he makes. I love thee, Lord Jesus, look down from the sky and stay by my cradle till morning is nigh. Be near me, Lord Jesus, I ask thee to stay close by me forever and love me, I pray. Bless all the dear children in thy tender care, and take us to heaven to live with thee there. Away in a manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the sky looked down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay.
Yeah, that was really good. And yes, it was insanely loud. I had to actually turn it down because it was distorting the heck out of OBS. So, but still, that was very, very cool. I enjoyed that very much.
Absolutely.
Nothing quite like rocking away in a manger.
Yeah, and hopefully we've all got volume controls that we can turn it up if we want to. And if not, please donate $5 a month.
Yeah, yes, exactly. But yeah, fantastic stuff there, Rob. And Rob actually submitted a whole bunch of entries, which were, for those of you that are not part of that workspace and you haven't been part of this challenge, but you're kind of watching on with interest. Yeah, Rob was quite prolific in his input to this challenge with a whole bunch of songs that were kind of similar in style and in vein, but they were all very, very good. And, you know, we had to kind of pick one of his. So
Yeah, absolutely. And you could always search for him on YouTube because he's currently uploading them with a playlist, and so you can grab those on the tubes.
On the tubes. Right. So we're getting towards the back end of the list of songs here. So let's go for. Should we go for a bit of Christina from Denmark?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Christina has titled this quite alliteratively, which is very cool. She's called it Christina's Crunchy Christmas Knut. I was very careful about how I said that.
It's a word that rhymes with munt.
There you go. Yep. Here we go.
This is my tribute to this crunchy Crimbo challenge. I love you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to all my friends, all I know. I love you so much. This is my tribute.
Yeah, those asking if I can turn her up, I can. This is as loud as it goes. Yeah, you're gonna have to turn up your volumes, folks.
Oh, here we go. Frohe Weihnachten.
Feliz Natal.
메리 크리스마스.
Merry Christmas.
Glædelig jul.
Joyeux Noël.
圣诞快乐。
Merry Christmas.
And a bloody fucking Mary to you too.
Bye-bye.
My God. My God.
And there we go. That was Christina's. Yes, the volume on that one is a little on the quiet side.
Yeah.
Dwayne says, give me a chance to turn on before you talk. There you go. Sorry about that. But yes, you can, if you are a part of the challenge workspace over on Studio One Plus, then yes, you have access to all of the tunes played this evening and many, many more, because all of the entries are there in a entries folder. And so you can go and peruse those to your heart's content. So if you've not really had the best listening experience, because some of these were a little quiet and some of these were really, really loud, then yeah, feel free to go and check these out at your leisure.
Yeah, I think we have to kind of stress that, you know, obviously this was not a mixing contest as such. It wasn't like who's got the best production chops. It was a who's the most creative with what they had available, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And, you know, Christina's not, she would never describe herself at all as being into mixing in the slightest. So, so it's a little on the quiet side overall, and some of the balances are a little out of whack, but, you know, overall the song is really, really good and very, very engaging and enjoyable. And you won't have seen it, but she actually edited together a video for the whole thing as well. So there is actually a music video version, which again, if you're on the Studio One Plus workspace, you can go and watch the video. And
as did Sean Aaron as well. He did a video too. So both of them did videos, and you know, it's cool. We don't judge it on, you know, if you provide a video that gives you extra points.
Correct.
But, you know, if that's something that you want to do, it fulfills your creative void, then absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Creativity was a big part of this challenge. But again, you know, kind of if you did something like extra, like making a music video, you know, there were no extra points available for that. But if it's kind of something that you feel strongly about wanting to do, and it extends your creativity, then go for it. You know, But this was a songwriting challenge rather than a kind of music video making challenge. So,
Yeah.
So this leaves us with our one and only mixing entry.
Yeah. It's the honourable entry.
The honourable entry. So kind of by default, being the only mix entry. So this is Kyle's mix of. I don't know who was involved in doing this arrangement of the Carol with the Bells. Do you know, Rich?
Well, me essentially.
Okay.
But it was sent over with audio and MIDI stems. So
Right.
there were two available that people could download, and if they're still in the group, they can still download them, keep them forever.
Yeah.
But the two song files. So within there was a packed folder with MIDI, with just labeled, so there was no instruments attached to them. It was just regular, good old MIDI. And then there was a folder of audio files, and the instruments provided were pretty dry. The way that I'd actually done it is I'd actually printed the effects and the reverb and everything to a completely separate channel, so that if the person mixing that wanted to make use of their own effects and their own panning and all that kind of stuff, they're not having to cope and deal with printed effects.
Cool.
So it was very, very dry. So I have to see
just how I like
what
my
results.
Yep.
Yeah. See what he came up with.
All right, so here is Kyle's mix of Rich's arrangement of Carol of the Bells. I muted there because the wind just suddenly really picked up and was very loud. So right at the start of Kyle's mix there, and the song starts quite nice and quietly, and I didn't want it for you to just hear the wind. So
yeah, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but every time I hear that kind of like that whistling wind, and then the church bells, and sometimes you might hear like tubular bells in Christmas songs, it always reminds me of the division bell.
Yeah.
Grass is greener.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. All right. So I'll play our final track for the evening, and then we will announce the results, because we're at 1 o'clock now. So here we go. This is my arrangement of exactly the same tune as you just heard. So it's a wee bit different. And there you go, folks. That was my version of Carol of the Bells. And yes, it is a little bit Paul Desmondy, a little bit Elvin Jones on drums, and a little bit McCoy Tyner on piano. So yeah, that was that really. That was a load of fun for me to put together. I had a blast making that. And the challenge for me was kind of keeping the melody, the original melody, kind of clear and consistent, while still kind of, because I wanted to do a proper arrangement rather than just kind of jazzing up a carol, which is easy, anybody can do that. This was more about kind of doing a proper serious arrangement that kept the melody clear, consistent, So it's recognizable, but with a different genre and a different harmonic background.
And more importantly, it doesn't matter if you don't listen to jazz, you already kind of know that song. You recognize it. That,
Yep.
And it like you say, it holds the melody. And even if you didn't know the song, because it's such a well recognized song, thanks to adverts and radio.
Yeah.
Somebody could pick that, listen to that, and they could go, I know that song from somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. It's just dressed up in different clothing. So that was kind of the arranging challenge of it, and kind of making it a little bit varied. So rather than just having the trumpet and tenor sax play in unison, I wanted them kind of playing in harmony at different points. And so when the head comes around again after the piano solo, kind of with different harmony than you had the first time. So it's the same melody, just harmonized differently with the tenor sax. So that's always kind of a sneaky little arranging trick to kind of flip the instruments around a bit.
Bobby's just put something in the chat. I've got to intervene here.
Go ahead.
He said, there's no way I can make music like you guys. Nobody can make music like us guys because we're us.
Yep.
Like, I can't make music like Jonny. Jonny doesn't make music like me and
Correct.
like Brett and just Bob and everybody else, We all make our music differently,
Oh yeah, I mean, listening to Danny's song, I'm immensely jealous of the guy's talents. But it's a genre that I don't really work in very much, other than as a session musician, but certainly not playing, not making my own music in that style. It would sound terrible. It really would sound terrible. It would sound, it would descend very quickly into elevator music. Let's just say that. And I would end up having to give Kenny G a call and say, "Can you come and do some soprano sax on this?"
Yeah. Then people just kind of want to know, did anybody actually win this thing?
Yeah, we should get to that.
Because there was a winner.
There was. All right. Over to you, Rich, in reverse order, and I'll provide the drum roll.
I kind of want to do them like in the wrong order, then say no, that's not. Okay, so
one-handed drum roll.
Okay, so in third place, Chris Maragna.
Yay!
Late entry. He said in the chat earlier on that he was homesick, and even though obviously we don't want people to be homesick, we gave him the opportunity to get something in, and he did it. Sick, folks. Sick. He was ill. Okay.
So it ended up being sick in two different ways. Yes.
In second place, this was tied.
It was. Yes.
And this is the thing, we had this problem with getting people into the top three in school because everyone was really good. So we tied this one with Danny Taylor and Juan Weissman.
Yay! Yeah, it was really hard to pick between those two. And, kind of maintain a first, second, third. That was really hard.
Yeah. Now, the number one spot, this was, in a way, kind of the most difficult one to pick.
Yeah.
Because obviously everybody's entry was really good. But we had to kind of look at it from the perspective of, okay, do I like this song more because it's produced well? Or do I like this song more because I like the content within it? And going back to what Jonny was saying about jumping into the workspace and going and listening to the songs individually in your own time, I definitely recommend you do that with the winner, because you'll hear interesting things in there that I don't think other people did to the same extent. So within the winning song, there was sound design.
Yep.
And I'm not talking about sound design in terms of physically making the sounds, but taking samples of environmentals and putting them in context with the song, and they'd found lots of different things from different places in the world, combined them into this song. They wrote some really nice piano melody.
Yep.
Lots of lyrics. And although they did create a video, which hints to the winner, that did not push them over the line whatsoever. The winner's Christina.
Yay!
And even if you're thinking to yourself now, well, I couldn't bloody hear it, go and listen to it in your own time, and you will hear all of the different elements that she put into it. She's not a mixer, she's not a producer, she's not going to be creating them, the next best number one hit right now. But just from a creative content, somebody that had fun with it. And remember, going back to what we said at the very beginning, it was about having fun and being creative.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
It had to be somebody that had done something creative and had fun with it. And she wished, although she's not here in the song, she wished you all a Merry Christmas.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing one of the things that sets her song apart from all the others is that she didn't just write a Christmas song in a really broad generic sense. She wrote a song for us, for all of us here, all of us that are in chat who are watching this show right now. She wrote it for you and for me and for Rich. She wrote it for all of us, and that's what the lyrics of her song were about. They were about us, and they were about the difference that we have made to her, and also the fact that we all come from different countries. We're all from different parts of the world, and yet it's Studio One, it's Persona's hardware and software that is the thing that has brought us all together. And that was, for me, that was kind of like the creativity that nobody else had thought of.
Yeah, and more importantly, for those of you that know her, she's from Denmark. If you've spoken to her, you know that she does speak English. But sometimes she will ask you and she'll say, "What's the English word for this?" It's not her first language, and yet she wrote really intricate lyrics about her experiences with everybody over the last couple of years, and why she was glad for that, And the music was cool as well. The piano work was good.
Yeah.
And at the end, there was the whole Merry Christmas in about 20 different languages. Just really interesting and creative. A lot of people might be thinking, okay, well, surely, Rob Kane would be, numero uno, because it's an amazing song. But the thing is, Christina's done something creative and original and kind of from the heart.
Yep.
And that was important. And see, it goes to show, getting back to Bobby's point about, I can't write songs like you guys. It's not always about who writes the best song and produces the best song. It's who's had the most fun. Because some people here are doing this as a hobby, right? You're having fun doing it. If you're not having fun doing it, you're getting something out of it. And
100%.
I think everyone should go and listen to that song and maybe say your congratulations or wish her a Merry Christmas, because she's not always around when us guys are up and about. So you might not see it all after the new year potentially, but absolutely superb job from Danny and Juan. Juan's just jumped into the chat not long ago. So he may already be aware, but Danny and Juan, you're tied for second place, and Chris Martin with his lurgy in number 3 there. So all of you guys are going to have to fit onto the podium one way or another.
Yes.
No
Yep.
elbows.
Yeah. Yeah. So in conclusion, folks, I want to say a very, very, very gargantuan, massive thank you to everybody that participated in this Christmas songwriting challenge. You all did brilliantly. We had to pick winner, and we had to pick some honorable mentions and runners up. So it was challenging for us to do that, definitely. You guys made it hard work for us, which is what we wanted. We wanted you guys to make it hard work for us to pick a winner. But everybody that participated did an outstanding job, and you raised the bar again. The Halloween challenge, I was totally stoked and totally blown away by the quality of the entries that we had for that. And you guys just raised the bar again, and you put out even better work in terms of quality, in terms of effort, in terms of putting into practice the things that we talk about every Wednesday and every Sunday. And that for me is the biggest part of all of this. Why I'm doing these challenges in partnership with Rich, because this
Sorry,
is about...
Dave's just put they all get plastic trophies. Yes? Question mark. So obviously Christina's not here, so we're going to have a word about what Christina wants. But basically, Dave and everybody else that hasn't participated in the challenge for Halloween in this one is that I'm offering up the prizes, okay, and essentially within a reasonable limit, they're going to be able to pick what they want. That's why it's so cool to take part in these things sometimes, is because, if you need a new interface, you need a new microphone, you need some new headphones, you need some new speakers, you're going to be covered here.
Mike's here.
And Mike's here as well, and Keith from Radio Talk from it is here as well. Wherever you are in the world this minute, have an awesome Merry Christmas. Yep. When another challenge comes around, take part.
Definitely.
Because, you could be in a situation where, Christina is now going to be having a chat with me probably at some point in the morning for us.
Yep.
6-7 hours from now. Where we're going to say, okay, you won. What do you want?
Yep.
It could be you.
Could be you. Could be you next time. So absolutely. The more the merrier for the next challenge, whenever that's going to be. That's going to be in 2024 at some point. We've not really thought that far ahead into the future, because I can't think that far ahead anyway.
It's like next year, man.
It's next year. It's like I haven't even thought about laundry that needs done yet. So
and I think we all need a break. It's Christmas now. This is Christmas week.
Yeah.
So we've got New Year's coming, and everyone's going to be drunk and stupid and silly and not paying attention to stuff. And look, you shouldn't be operating your computer or your DAW or whatever under the influence anyway. So just enjoy it. Be with friends. Be with family if you possibly can.
Agreed. So we're going to wrap up now. But first of all, I have to say a gargantuan, oversized, massive thank you to Rich for sponsoring the 2 challenges for this year and for sponsoring this challenge. And Rich is outstanding. He has contributed outstandingly to our Studio One and Personas community. And what you do for us, Rich, is invaluable and immeasurable. The way you contribute, helping people, educating people, and being generous with your time and your resources. And I personally appreciate it a lot.
Cheers.
For what you've done for me and for my channel, and for what I do. I can't put it into words how much I appreciate you.
That's cool. I mean, again, like for you to doing the videos, whether it's something that I pick up on or whether it's something that's useful to other people, it's appreciated by everybody. And I think the biggest thing that I would like to see people do maybe more in the new year, and if we do any more challenges, they will be based on this little clue. But I want to see people putting things into practice that you show them, that you teach them.
Yeah.
And if they don't know, come back the week after, and say, hey, you did this thing last week. I'm not sure. Could you repeat it for me?
Yeah.
Because that just shows like a willingness to try and, get it done.
Definitely.
And if folks, if you're watching Jonny's show and you're not sure if he's mentioning something that you don't understand, ask in the comments.
Yep.
And
ask in the chat. That's what it's there for.
Whether you use pen and paper the old-fashioned way or you use a notepad on your desktop, make notes of things.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I'm going to try that out and try it out. Actually, do it.
Yeah, because I mean, we only get an hour for the show, so we have to move at a decent pace. So if I'm dealing with something that's complex, I'm having to kind of condense it all down into something small. So definitely taking notes, I think, is an excellent suggestion. Billy Morgan has an after show Christmas party, which is on now. So we will all be heading over there for that. Everybody who is in chat just now, you are welcome to come and join us. And it is just a party. It's not a formal gathering. It's informal gathering. And I would love to see everybody over there. Final thing to say, because Chris asked this, he said, is there a show on Sunday because it's Christmas Eve? No, there is not a show. The next one will be Songwriting Simplified on Wednesday, 27th of December. And then the big event of the year after Christmas, which is the Hogmanay show. That will be at 7 p.m. Central Time on New Year's Eve. It's called Hogmanay because Hogmanay is the Scots word for the last day of the year. That's why it's called the Hogmanay show. So it will be an informal show, and we will be celebrating all things 2023. And also, in preparation for that show, please be thinking about what you would like to see for Persona's hardware and Persona's software in 2024. Make your predictions. Be bold. Make your predictions about what you think is going to come down the pipeline. I, of course, am not going to give anything away because I can't. But it would be really interesting to see what you guys think you might
under
be seeing.
pain of death.
Yes, exactly. So
get to the Hogmanay thing, guys. And
Yep.
if you're not sure, okay, because obviously not everybody's jumping onto Studio One, Studio One Plus. There's a couple of meetups left for the year as well.
Yes.
So we've got Nate doing a Ohio's meetup. That will be tomorrow. Then there's the UK one.
Yep.
For us, that would be the December 29th, but for you guys, obviously, because you're in the past, that would be the 28th. Then there's the New Orleans.
No, the UK one is 8 p.m.
8 p.m. in the UK, yeah. 8 p.m. in the UK.
So it would be kind of like mid-afternoon for the US.
Of course, yes. These
On the
depending on
29th.
where they live, 5 to 6, 7 hours, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so it would be kind of
Canada,
somewhere between lunchtime and 2 p.m., depending upon where you are in the United States on the Friday. And then, of course, Hogmanay show, as mentioned.
yeah, and Canada West is, for some reason, that's up there, but that's miles off in February. I'm not sure why it's up there at the moment, but
I think
goes to that one.
Yeah, that might be a small Gregor-inspired mistake, because he kind of looks after all those events.
But yeah, there's more to keep you busy, during the holiday season.
Definitely. All right, folks, so we will wrap it up there. The link to the Zoom call is over on the chat there, so if you have Zoom, then please do join us over there. If you don't have Zoom yet, download it. It's free. And come on over and come and join us.
Yeah, it installs in like 10 seconds.
Exactly. It's a tiny little installer. It's very, very quick and very, very easy. So all it remains for me to say is a very good night from me.
And a very good night from him.
Good night, everybody.